What up, YouTube? It's your man, KDB Sports and Entertainment, knocking down another video. Do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. Now, we less than a few weeks away from the much anticipated super fight between Terence "Bud" Crawford and Suel Canelo Alvarez. And I must say, man, I'm kind of intrigued by this fight. I'm very intrigued by this fight because to me, it seems like Terence Crawford is really taking this fight serious. From the pressers a few weeks ago, maybe probably about a month ago, Terence Crawford is showing Canelo Alvarez no respect, and that's what I like to see. I like to see that. But at the same time, this is a big challenge for the boy Terence Crawford, because this is going to determine for me if Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather Jr. Because Floyd Mayweather Jr. completely mopped the floor with Canelo Alvarez. Easy. Stood right in front of Canelo Alvarez. He didn't run around the ring like they try to say that, you know, Mayweather's style is a runner style, which is not as an outboxer style. No, he stood right in front of Canelo and even walked Canelo down. So in order for Terence Crawford to be better than Floyd Mayweather, he's going to have to duplicate that or do better. And what I mean by do better is counter Canelo Alvarez effectively, like Floyd did, walk Canelo down, and perhaps drop Canelo. And better yet, if he stops Canelo, yeah, that's going to send a statement. But can he do it? I don't know, man. I don't know. Because in this fight, this is really his first true threat. I'm not counting 147 because damn near everybody at 147 was broken. They wasn't at their best. And especially Earl Smith Jr. wasn't at his best when he fought Terence Crawford. But Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, best believe he's going to be at his very best, and perhaps on the juicy juice, because that's what he's known for. And all of the distractions that have been coming out about Terence Crawford being on the juice because of his affiliation with Victor Conte and Devin Haney is just a deflection from what's going on in that Reynoso camp, in my opinion. And with that being said, they better be very careful. Team Bud needs to be very careful with this, because if Terence Crawford goes in there and gets washed, there ain't gonna be no excuses, man. Because he pursued Canelo Alvarez. He believes he can beat Canelo Alvarez. I think he has the skill set to beat Canelo, but not as effective as Floyd. But I'm not gonna put it past the guy, because the guy is a great boxer. See, people think I'm a Terence Crawford hater, and I'm not. I just didn't like how he moved. I didn't like the way the Earl Smith Jr. and him fighting went down. See, we had to wait. Our guy, my guy, Earl Spence, had to go against his own team and make all these sacrifices to get the fight done. And it was to his own detriment because he overstayed that weight class. And him not living the fighter lifestyle in the past caught up with him at the very worst time that it could have caught up with him. It made Bud Crawford look like Superman. And then we never got the rematch, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, looking at it, like I said, Terence Crawford went up to 154 when he fought the Madrimov guy. Now, the Madrimov guy had a completely different style than Earl Spence and Canelo Alvarez. But Terence Crawford had a lot of trouble with that guy. And I think that guy tagged and stung Bud Crawford a few times. That was actually a really, really close fight. I thought Bud pulled it off by maybe 1 or 2 rounds, but I wouldn't have been mad if it went the other way, because it was just that close of a fight. But as far as him versus Canelo, best believe Canelo's gonna be ready for Terence Crawford. And like I said, I'm no Canelo fan because I think he's a cheater and he's a super ducker. And really, this is his chance at getting his Mayweather revenge. And what I mean by that is, by de facto, Terence Crawford has become the second Mayweather. You know, not by skills, because I still think Mayweather's better, technically better, higher IQ than Terence Crawford. But Terence Crawford is getting up there. He's close. And like I said, if he could duplicate what Floyd did to Canelo and better, perhaps knock him down, yeah, I'm gonna have him over Floyd. But I mean, that's gonna be a hard feat because Canelo is also a better fighter. He has not been fighting up to that. He's been kind of lazy in the ring, just looking for the knockout. But Canelo can fight. And then I think that's the big picture that a lot of hardcore Terence Crawford fans are missing. Like, we keep forgetting that despite Canelo being a cheater, despite Canelo being a ducker, that the dude got hands. See? So like I said, I'm really curious of how this fight's gonna play out. And I would not be surprised. You know, Bud can pull it off because Bud has a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove all of his haters wrong. And I can understand that. When you just get doubted your entire life, you know, you develop an ego, you develop a big chip on your shoulder to prove people wrong. And I understand that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez going down in a few weeks. I'm very intrigued. Like I said, he's not giving Canelo respect like Charlo did and all the other opponents did, except for Bivol. He really wants to beat Canelo. And I think that's kind of pissing Canelo off that he's not showing him that respect. Like I said, I don't expect him to go in there and lay down like Charlo did. Once Charlo started to feel those punches, Charlo laid down. He laid the egg. Now, will Terence Crawford do the same? Now, like I said, the hardcore Terence Crawford's fans say, nah, Bud got too much dog, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we shall see, because if that so happens to happen, man, oh man, that's going to be a bad look for Terence Crawford. But I don't believe he's going to do that. I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, man, that's all I got to say on this fight. I'm going to make some more videos breaking down the fight later on. Like I said, I'm very, very intrigued by it. I want to see what Terence Crawford can do, because it's awfully strange that Terence Crawford couldn't come right into the Errol Spence fight having a layoff, but he set out and waited for Canelo Alvarez to, you know, get his stuff together and get him a tune-up. And Bud set out for over a year. So this is intriguing, man. If he can come back and do that, sit out a year, over a year, move up and weight, and beat Canelo, yeah, I'm gonna give him props. This time I'm gonna give him full props, because we know this dude Canelo is not gonna be drained. Canelo's not gonna be at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna give him full credit. I'm saying that right here today. I'm gonna give Terence Crawford full credit if he defeats Canelo Alvarez. That's gonna be really his first true test of his skills. You know what I'm saying? Not fighting a bunch of broken fighters that already ran through each other. They're all banged up, and you come in and you the cleanup man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's all I got to say on this matter. It's your man KDB Sports Entertainment, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.